Hello, YouTube family and friends. How are we doing today? Today we're talking about no more playing small, and particularly about the exact micro habit you need in order to make that happen. And the reason why I came up with this today is actually not a today specific topic, but it is something that I see in so many people that I see. I've literally had a coaching call the other day, and everything really boiled down to this. So I felt like because I see it everywhere, it's actually good to talk about this and to point this out. And we're speaking about a micro habit here that, yes, it is micro in that it is something small that I'm going to tell you, but up on application in your everyday life, we will see how one is actually not that it's simple, but it's not easy, particularly, but it is a micro habit that will change the way you do things, that will change the way you move through your day, how it feels, and it will change the way you are producing results in your life, whatever it is. Whether it's about your new workout routine, whether it's about literally stepping into a new work routine, if it's about a new project, like whatever it is, everything boils down to how you speak to yourself. And I will get to this more as we go. So, the reason why I also felt like it was so important to speak on this particular is because we are in times, and I speak of this on this channel the whole time, we are in times of change. We are collectively stepping into a new timeline. We are collectively stepping into and embodying a new consciousness. And from there, we are creating collectively, globally, we're together creating a new world, so to say, right? Be it in our families, be it in the way we do business, in the way we collaborate with other people, be it in art and entrepreneurship. And we are collectively doing something new together currently. And what I see is as a lot of people are stepping into this new consciousness, are stepping, some people call it awakening. I'm personally, I always, when people tell me I had my spiritual awakening, da 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 da, I'm usually like, I don't know what that means for you particularly, because I don't remember or recall like one specific time or event, you know what I mean? I guess it's just something that has gradually grown, and especially went hand in hand with the meditation practice that I have been working with over the past 11 years. But we can say that, we are awakening, right? Like we are coming to look at, oh wait, what is actually true for me? What is actually something that is on my soul? What is actually something that I want to do with my time? Right? So as we are collectively stepping into a timeline where these things have more importance, and just take up more space, naturally, we will come to a point where we then take a step back and reflect and look at everything we have done so far and how we've done things so far, right? So you have a new consciousness now, right? You're looking from a different vantage point as before. And when we look at things, it can be like, oh my God, why would I do that? Why would I move like this? Why didn't I do that? Right? And this is the particular thing that I want to address today and speak about today. Every time, every time we are for ourselves making a new decision, every time we decide to step into a new path, every time we decide, like, no, I don't want to do it like this, I want to move in this direction, this is what I want to do. Every time we do that, we will be faced with the habits and the ways that we have always been doing things, right? This is the whole nature of change and transformation. If we could just, I was watching The Matrix, I was rewatching The Matrix the other day, and they had this, they could, like the helicopter came down and Neo was asking Trinity, like, can you drive this thing or like fly this thing? And she was like, I can't now, but So she made one phone call. This guy was like programming something, put it in. She went, boom, opens her eyes, and she's walking up to the helicopter and she says, "Let's go." Right? So that's in the Matrix, in the movie. So if it was like that, then it would be amazing, right? It would be fabulous. Then a lot of these YouTube channels wouldn't have to exist. But because it's not that simple always, we will when we step into a new timeline, when we step into our path, when we step into a new way of being that we decided is the one for us. Every time we do that, we will be faced with how we have been doing things so far. We will be faced with all the habits, with all the ways, you know what I mean? So let's identify in that context, let's identify the very thing that keeps people stuck the most, and therefore the very thing that if we can get that under control is going to clear the way the most and is going to give us effects the most. I need to find a good angle for myself, guys. The one enemy on this path and on this journey is your own critical self-judgment. Because you're already making your steps. You're already like, okay, working out is going to be is who literally part of who I am and part of who my best self is. This is what I'm adding to my rotation, or getting up earlier, which is me. Or it could be small things, it could be big things, right? But the one thing that's our enemy is our negative is our self judgment, is our self criticism. And I'm speaking of this in particular because it seems small. I'm just telling you, stop it. Don't judge yourself. Don't be so critical of yourself. But I'm saying, like, don't be so critical of yourself. That does not mean do not have any standards, does not mean do not have anything to aspire to, because this is not the person that will say these things to you, okay? But I want to be very clear with you that self judgment and beating yourself up and like holding on to things from a complete functional perspective, a complete rational functional perspective, is not serving you, does not play into your cards, does not support you, is not the path you want to take if you truly want to move ahead. It might seem like it. We somehow think that self criticism, and if, let's say, we did skip gym that week, it somehow seems honorable or noble to beat ourselves up. I don't know why. Doesn't matter why. It's just like that. Like, let's just work with that. But it's not. It's really not. Not only are you literally losing time with that and energy that you could like deploy to something else, but also that's actually already it. You're losing your time. You're losing your time and energy. Everything else would be a more dramatic expression of that. You're losing time and you're losing energy. If you judge yourself, if you're like self-critical, you're losing time and you're losing energy. Yep, I said it. I said it. That does not mean that you're not aspirational. That does not mean that you're not ambitious and going after things. But this video is like coming to you particularly to help you create discernment and clarity over the difference of when you actually are in a mode of this is the standard, this is what I'm going after. You can feel it in my energy. This is a strong energy. This is one. And then the other one is, oh, why didn't I do this? This is weak. Why would you choose to employ weak energy into your day, into what you're doing? This is not what you want to be doing. Okay? So this section of the video is here to help you discern that self-criticism and judgment is not this heroic, this is my goal, aspirational energy, but it's actually something that weakens you, that steals your time and steals your energy. So, how do you want to move instead? Let's say you skipped gym, or like after a week of skipping, it's entering your consciousness, and now the all this self-talk starts and da 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 da. You know what you want to do instead? You want to become mindful that you are doing it. You want to become mindful. Simply become mindful of you doing it. This is the first step. We're already, again, back at mindfulness and awareness, right? Be aware that you're doing it. And this is the training, this is the micro habit that I'm thinking of, that I came to deliver today. And it takes training, but it is so worth taking on that training. And that is, if you are doing it, you became aware of it, you now decide simply to look forward. You decide simply to look forward and go ahead and move ahead. And the fact that you didn't go, you forget. It does not matter. Nobody cares. Literally, nobody cares. The only thing that matters is that today, now, you're doing it. And then tomorrow, if you skipped again, you're noticing it. I mean, obviously, you notice that you didn't go, but when it comes back again, you throw it away. You throw it out. You throw it out. This self criticism, judgment of self, you simply throw it out. You throw it out. Every time it comes up, you throw it out. And instead of that, you focus on doing it this time around with this motion. This is a training in unlearning self criticism. This is a training in unlearning self judgment and redirecting our energy towards doing this. This is a micro habit. This is a micro mental thing that you can do that will be difficult in the beginning, but it will give you such good results, because you will see how your energy and your time is now being freed up towards actually the thing that you're trying to do. And you'll see, the self-criticism, it comes with an energy of, you know, she thinks she has a job. She thinks like she's no, like that's it's her right to say that. And she's actually doing things better, but she's not. You can let it go. You can literally let it go. You can dismiss her like she's not needed on the team. Okay. And the reason, for some reason, playing small has been like, just this terminology and just this concept has been put into my consciousness in connection with this life. And it took me a minute to like put two and two together, you know what I mean? But that's really what it is. Like if you're stuck in this, and as we so often are, right? If we're stuck in this very mental ping pong of, okay, I'm trying to make a step forward. I didn't really do it well. So now I'm ruminating and I think about this and I think about that and how I hated it and how I always, you see this motion? When we are in there, literally, it almost seems like our depth of processing things is so small. Right? We're like stuck in the ping pong, like, like we can't really think ahead, we can't really move ahead. So naturally, this motion will keep you playing small because you came up with something that you want to do, whether it be gym, whether it be a project, whether it be a new hobby, like whatever it is, you already came up with it. Your goal is actually now to make it there, to get there. This should be your only concern. Everything else, you can drop it. And the thing with playing small is we don't notice how we're playing small while we are playing small. You see what I'm saying? We don't notice how we are playing small in the moment that we're playing small. And every time we give in to this inner critic, every time we give into, this self judgment, is when we agree to play a very small game, because that game is just fighting whether you successfully went to the gym or not. That's a very unimportant battle because it is one you can just skip. Guys, and as always, I'm only speaking like that because I know this myself, okay? And personally, for the longest, also as a Virgo moon, for the longest, I would just mistake that inner voice and that criticism. I would just mistake it for making progress. I would mistake it as, this is me being absolutely pristine in my striving, and this is absolutely necessary. Like it almost, I used the words earlier, like it almost was like it was associated with like a noble feeling from my end. I thought I was doing the exact correct thing that I needed to do, right? Until you make your steps, and you increase your levels, and then at some point, I just started to see how the less I did it, the faster I started becoming, the more I adopted a full focus on what needed to be done, and I completely erased out these thoughts where I don't do things. Ever since I've done that, now I can see how much more energy I have available to actually figure out how I can do things more consistently, or I would just, not even that, I would just do it. And because I did it, then now I did it. So now the next time I do it, it comes more natural, right? So, in this whole conversation of, how do we move ahead? How do we step into our path? How can we assist our own transformation? How can we coach ourselves? Really, this little thing that seems so innocent and sometimes masks so much as, um, a noble, aspirational, ambitious little helper in our psyche. It goes unnoticed how much delay it actually produces in our lives. So, therefore, today's message is be mindful of the inner critic, be mindful of this inner judgment, be mindful of it when it comes, and be wise enough to give it the correct space, which is none. Which is none. You do not need it, because what you need, or what is trying to tell you what it is a commitment to moving ahead and doing the things you told yourself you're going to do. So these are two entirely different things, two entirely different energies. So if that's what you want, this is what you stick to. And the self-criticism is not in the same pot as this energy. It's two different pots. So, yeah, man, that was a quick one today. We want to be mindful of this inner judgment. We want to know when it is happening. And most of the time, this is already enough. Okay. But if we want to add something, it is really in that moment to then redirect our focus to absolutely just block back in. You will see how much easier life feels, how much more ease you will feel when you commit to doing that. And you will see how much faster you will move. And you will also see how with that excess energy, you will not be aware like how much energy this thinking actually keeps until you start one by one letting it go and undoing it. And in every moment where it happens is an opportunity for you to let it go again. Sometimes people get frustrated with not being able to let it go. Like they're meant to let it go and then they don't let it go, and then they get frustrated that they don't let it go. Right? That's how we are as humans. But you'll see the more you invest like your intention into it, and the more you're like committing to, okay, this is what I want to try out, and I'm telling you to try it out, the more things will be not only easier, but you will have so much more energy. you'll have so much more energy. And once you have that energy, the playing field all of a sudden starts to grow because you have more capacity available. You've given yourself, you've carved out more capacity for your own life, for your own improvement, for your own betterment, for your own striving. You've carved out more energy with that, right? So, yeah, this is the one mental micro habit that I like to give people that I'm giving to you today that will help you free up energy and redirect it in the correct way so you're not unnecessarily, unconsciously holding on to something that presents as helping you, but is really holding you back and stealing your energy, which is your self judgment. We don't need it. We're letting it go, we're letting it rest. Okay. All right, that was the message for today. Sending my love and blessings and power to everybody out there. And I'll see you guys in the next life.